your 20s, moving out for the first time, going abroad, studying, working, making new friends, getting your heart broken for the first time maybe. Your 20s are all about discovering yourself. So if you clicked on this video, chances are you are a woman in your 20s, probably very ambitious, maybe a first or second generation immigrant just like me, and you want to have a life that is more than just ordinary. I am turning 30 just in a couple of months, and I thought I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about the 10 most important lessons that I have learned in my 20s. So grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk. Hey guys, it's Rainy. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today, I want to talk about the 10 most important lessons that I have learned in my 20s. Lessons I wish someone would have told me when I was younger. Because these lessons helped me to figure out what I want to do, what I want to be in life. They helped me reconnect with my roots and find my own self-worth. So if you are someone who grew up between cultures, as an immigrant maybe, this video was made for you. Especially numbers 7 and 9 are very important for my fellow black and brown girlies. Let's dive right in. Lesson number 1 is actually the most important lesson that I have learned personally in my 20s. And it's learn to be alone. There's nothing more to say than just be alone, dude. I really couldn't do that when I was in my early 20s. I always tried to be around people, to be around my friends, to be with my romantic partners all the time. And now, looking back, I think it was because I didn't really like myself, to be honest. I didn't want to be left alone with my thoughts, so I just distracted myself all the time. But when I was forced to spend time with myself, I realized how freeing it is. How freeing it is to take yourself on a walk, to take yourself on a date, to go see the movies all by yourself and just do your own thing. I even went to vacations all alone, and I think that I found myself because of that. Number 2, sit down, be humble. Yes, even Kendrick Lamar knew that this is one of the most important things if you want to succeed in life. Because in my early 20s, I really wanted to be the greatest, the most intelligent, the fastest, and I really wanted to show it to people. But I quickly realized that it didn't resonate with my peers, and it didn't make me look especially intelligent, but just very braggy. And that's not what you want to be. I realized that the most intelligent women, the women that were just exactly how I wanted to be, were the people who were kind, grounded, curious, and open-minded. That's more important than to brag what you can do, because at the end you can learn from everyone, even from people who seem like they're not as fast or not as far as you are. There's always something to learn. And the most ambitious and most intelligent people understand that. Number 3, boredom fuels your creativity. If you are someone who is very ambitious, maybe because you are a first or second generation immigrant, and you really want to make use of the chances and privileges that you got from your parents or grandparents, then listen up. It's not the way to just be as productive as possible, to hustle as much as possible, to fill every waking moment with a lot of things and with a lot of noise. If you are scrolling all the time on social media or on TikTok or on Instagram, stop. If you are learning and working all the time, stop. Boredom is not bad. Boredom is what is important for your brain to regulate, for your nervous system to regulate, so you can move forward and be more creative. There's actually a quote that really helped me, because When I was younger, I really wanted to push myself to make use of all the opportunities that I've got as a first generation immigrant. And this quote says, "A bow must be pulled back in order to lunge forward." So if you are in a slow season, just keep this quote in mind. You are most probably right where you need to be right now. So think yourself as this bow. Pull yourself back, take some time off, maybe feel bored, so then you can launch forward and have more creativity and more ideas. Okay, but don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that you should use boredom as an excuse to do nothing, because this will bring us to number 4. Number 4, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Real growth doesn't grow in your comfort zone. Not in your career, not in your relationships with other people, not with yourself. Safe spaces are something that are good, but we should learn that, we all build our own safe spaces. We build routines, behaviors that we act upon all the time. But it's very important to break them once in a while, just to make sure that we are evolving and growing. Think of the version of you who is your dream woman, that girl. Think of her. Think about all the things that she is and she does. She's most probably someone who's very ambitious, who works a lot, who has a lot of things going on. If you stay in your comfort zone, you will never become her. So say yes to things before you actually feel ready. Speak up, even if you feel like you are very nervous. And that doesn't mean you need to be extra loud or extra bold or change who you are in the inside. Don't do that. Be yourself. But realize that your 20s are the perfect time to grow and to stretch yourself, to become a higher version of yourself, to become your dream woman. So do that. Which brings me to number 5. Life is all about trial and error. So when you think about your dream woman, think about all the things that she does and do them right now. Make mistakes, don't worry about it. People who are truly going places and who achieved real success would never judge you for making mistakes because they themselves remember how it was when they began. Picture this. You see a toddler starting to walk, and this toddler is very wobbly, falling over, standing up again, trying again. If you see that, would you really laugh at them or cringe maybe and think, ooh, that's so embarrassing? You wouldn't do that, right? Because you remember how it felt to learn something new as a little child. And you would cheer them on and think, go little buddy, you can do that. And that's how I want you to think about all the new things you want to achieve in your 20s. Just try them out, make mistakes, get back up again, try again. Because people who truly understand would never laugh at you or would never cringe. And people who cringe are not your people, and most probably also not the people you want to get advice from. Number 6, you don't need closure to move on. This one is huge because I had to learn it the hard way. Which phrase changed my life? Let them. Just let them. Your boss doesn't appreciate you? Let them. Your situationship won't commit? Let them. Friends excluding you from their plans? Let them. You don't need to explain your feelings to everyone. You don't need to be understood or liked to move on. And this one is for the girlies. You don't need a final talk. Trust me, I've tried that. In my early 20s, I always wanted to explain myself. I always wanted the other person to understand my side of the story. I wanted them to still like me. I wanted to be on good terms with them. But I soon realized that I cannot control what people think of me and how they treat me. And I, of course, cannot change people. And that's okay. As long as you live with integrity, stay kind and humble, and walk away from things that don't serve you, let them. If they don't respect you, let them, but let them be somewhere else. Okay, number 7 is especially for my fellow black and brown girlies. Celebrate your ethnic features. I think we all had the same kind of childhood if you grew up in a predominantly white space. But I'm here to tell you, you are beautiful. You don't need to fit into Eurocentric ideals of beauty. Your ethnic features, your beautiful afro hair, your dark skin, your almond eyes, your big nose maybe, your freckles, your red hair, everything is beautiful. I grew up as the only black girl in my whole school, and it was very hard as a young child and as a teenager because on TV and in media there were very, very few people that looked like me. And I always thought I had to be different. I had to have straight hair, I had to have lighter skin, but in my 20s, I realized how beautiful our differences are and that beauty is in diversity. So now when I see people from different ethnic backgrounds with their specific features, it truly helps me to realize that I myself am beautiful and so are you. Number 8, observe and learn from others. When I was in my early 20s, I really thought that being older always meant that people knew better and they were wiser maybe. But I quickly realized that is surely not the case. I met a lot of older people who are very ignorant, not as open, and not as experienced as I thought. So what I realized is that it's not about age, it's more about experience and reflection. So what I've learned is it's most important to learn from others, to learn from all situations, good or bad, and to realize how you should react in certain situations. So use this mind trick when you go through your life. You see something good happening to people, don't be envious. See that and ask yourself, what kind of mindset did this person have? What did they do? And try to implement that on yourself. On the other hand, when you see something bad happen, ask yourself, what did that person do? How did they learn from their mistakes or from that situation? What would I do in that situation? This simple habit helped me to avoid a lot of heartbreak, bad jobs, and unnecessary drama. So maybe this habit can help you too. Number 9, your cultural background is your superpower. Your multicultural identity is not a weakness, but a strength. I grew up in Germany as a Congolese little girl, raised by an African mother who really wanted me to fit in. So we only spoke German at home. It really helped me to integrate faster into German society, but on the other hand, it led to a lot of loss when it comes to my cultural heritage. I never felt like I was close to my African Congolese roots. So when I became older, I realized that I really wanted to reconnect with my roots. I started reclaiming my identity, learn the language Swahili and French, and I still learn these languages. It's not as easy, but I try. And I realized that it's so important to really feel connected to your culture. I also visited the Congo for the first time in my life when I was 27, and it changed me. I realized that my story, my language, my culture, my roots are so important that I never want to let them go. Living in Europe, living in Germany, and being part of German society does not mean I have to hide my own cultural heritage, and you shouldn't either. You know what? In a global world like we live in right now, we are very valuable because we can speak multiple languages. We have multicultural identity and understandings of different societal norms. So use that as your superpower. Last but not least, lesson number 10. Kindness will always win, and real connections are the key to a successful life. I've seen it over and over again in my 20s. The people who succeed in the long run are the people who are kind, real, honest, and genuine. So if you think you have to step on others to move forward, don't do that. It won't help you in the long run. Stay grounded, be open, have real connections with people. You never know where they are going to be in life and if you will need their help in the future. But even if not, it's just the right way to be. So be kind, respect yourself, but also respect others, and good things will happen to you. So these were the 10 most important lessons that I have learned in my 20s, and I hope they will help you to maybe feel less alone or just implement them into your own life so you can truly grow and learn from them. If you are interested in more topics like these, here is my video from last week where I talk about my unemployment at the moment and about failure and what it means for people with immigrant backgrounds. Next video drops next week. See you then, and thank you for watching. Bye!